Welcome back to my channel. Today I have 3 awesome tips to increase your click-through rate with better thumbnails, better layouts, and a tool called TubeBuddy. If you don't know what TubeBuddy is, check the description below, download it, it's awesome. Even the free version is worth it. Regardless if you're monetized or not, it'll definitely help your world out on YouTube. The first tip that I have for you is to change the layout of your channel. So when you go to your channel from your menu up here, click on your channel, you're going to see basically what your channel looks like, your layout. As you can see, as I scroll down, you can see all of my videos. Now, one thing that's a problem here is right now you can only see 1, 2, 3, 4 videos at one time. So the chances of you selecting one of those 4, or maybe 4.5, because you see part of a video down here, are kind of slim. Let's go ahead and go customize channel. And we are going to, instead of making these vertical, because this is the vertical setup, click on that little edit icon right here, and let's change those to horizontal rows. And if you don't already have them like that, you can add them and choose that when you add them, horizontal versus vertical. Same thing with this next one. Let's go ahead and make that horizontal, and you're gonna see what I'm talking about with how many more thumbnails you can have. Now these ones are already horizontal, which is I set up earlier. I set these up just for this tutorial, these 2 playlists, uploads and customer or computer tips. But now you see I have it horizontal. Just on this page alone, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 10, 15 different thumbnails. Now, if you make your thumbnails clear, you don't need a whole lot of things to write about them in the descriptions that'll show up on the vertical layout that we just saw before. As you can see, my thumbnails say increased click-through rates, best OBS settings, DHA versus DDE. The thumbnail itself should portray all that information. So that is the first tip. You can now have 15 viewable thumbnails on one screen. Now when I go back to my channel, as you see here, as I scroll down, it is literally 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 10, 15, plus these ones down here. It depends on your screen size. You might be able to get 20 thumbnails versus the few we had before. That's the first tip. We want to go to Analytics on the left. And you'll see a whole bunch of different metrics being measured and some trends. And you'll see a couple of different tabs up top. Click on Reach Viewers for now. And you see right here I have an impressions click-through rate, that CTR, 4.8%. Now, some can argue that that's an average click-through rate. Your rate should be somewhere probably between 3 and 6, depending on what kind of content you have. The higher the better, though. Go back to Overview, and let's go down to where it says Top Videos. And if you scroll down, you'll see a little See More button. Click on that, and we're going to get some better granular metrics. Let's scroll down just a tad so you can see this table of values here. And as you see impressions click-through rate here. We can sort by that by clicking on it. And you'll see a total at the top, which is 4.8. And then you see some of your top click-through rate videos. So mine is the VBA Automate Data Manipulation Statistics. I have a 12.6% click-through rate, which is great. So what you want to do is you want to find the video names that have high click-through rates, see what kind of thumbnail they have, compare them to some of the lower ones. So as you scroll down, you'll see lower ones, see what kind of thumbnail that is. Now, the idea is when you create better thumbnails, when you go back to the screen a month later, you should have a higher click-through rate. Do you ever pick up a book based on its cover? I actually do. If the cover looks cool, I might check it out. If the cover doesn't, that book might not ever get picked up. YouTube thumbnails are the same thing as a book cover. So if the thumbnail stands out and it's awesome, it's appealing, it's visual, I might click on it. If it's not, I probably won't click on it as much. In this video, I'm going to show you how to make awesome, appealing thumbnails with your creative mind and this free software in literally just a few minutes. As a bonus, I'm also going to let you know how to add those timestamps in your descriptions. Now the timestamp allows the user to click on a certain time in your video and it'll jump to that specific spot in the video. Now that does count as another click. I'm going to give you a quick tip on how to make thumbnails online for free and quickly. I'm sure there's some really elaborate ways to do this, but I'm going to show you the quick and dirty that I just started doing a couple days ago. As you can see from my YouTube channel homepage here, or landing page, I've got some that are kind of looking professional, if you ask me, like this DSLR laptop bag. Pretty simple. And then my interview thumbnails look pretty good. But down here you see I have a bunch that are not that professional. Let's go ahead and fix that right now. Before we do that, let me show you the C++ sequence too, because that's important. If somebody's watching my first C++ programming using Visual Studio and they're getting towards the end of that long 15-minute video, I made these years ago, they want to know which one's next. Now it is in a playlist, but what if they didn't happen to find this in a playlist and they just had some pre-populated YouTube videos that give them suggestions? Well, if they see the same kind of thumbnail identity, they're going to go ahead and click on that one instead if they liked my first one, which they probably will because I did it. Let's just go ahead and make a change to one of these generic ones here. Like I have Mark Gingras Equipment Specialist 1670 series. Not the best thumbnail, right? Let's do two things. Let's take a screen grab of what this video is. Find a spot in the video that's halfway decent where you look kind of good. Now this is a YouTube video, but don't forget it's going to be a thumbnail size, so it doesn't have to be the best quality. This is actually pretty terrible quality, I'm not going to lie. Okay, I'm going to pause it right here. I'm going to go ahead and on my MacBook, I'm going to do Command-Shift-5 to get a screenshot. Now with Windows, you might want to use the snipping tool. Click on Start and then type in SNIP. You'll see snipping pop up. You could probably use that tool. I'm literally just going to take a picture of this, capture it. It's going to go to my desktop. And then I'm going to go to a website called Canva.com, C-A-N-V-A. I'm going to click on Create a Design, Custom Dimensions, and you want 1280 by 760, which is the dimensions that YouTube recommends, and you want it in pixels. Create a new design. Let's go ahead and upload that picture that I just took, probably this one. And you saw how I got there. I clicked on this little icon here, then clicked on upload. So it's here, I click on it and it goes to my blank page now. Now, I don't want all white, so let's go to Elements, which is right here. I'm going to click on this little free square. You'll see free and you'll find square. Sometimes you have to scroll a little bit because I've used this before. It put it up top as recently used, but it's also right here. And there's a bunch of stuff. You can actually do a search in here for certain shapes. Like if you want a triangle, maybe type that in, you can get all these free triangles. So don't be afraid to explore other options, but I'm just going to actually fill this entire block up with my gray square for now. So I want a background that's a different color than white. I don't think I want gray either though, maybe a lighter gray, but I also don't want it in front. So click on Position and click on Backward. Boom, there we go. So now this doesn't look that great yet, so I'm going to move it over and I'm going to actually resize it a slight amount. But I'm also going to put like a frame around it. So let's do another free block and let's just kind of border this so that it looks like it's actually a picture of some sort that's within this bigger thumbnail. So let's go ahead and position that one back, and you can always go forward too. Okay, so it looks a little bit better now. It looks almost like I'm hanging on the wall of some sort of building, right? Let's go ahead and make this gray a brighter color for some contrast. I don't know what color would be good, but let's just go with, I'm going to go with the bright color. Okay. And then I want to add text, and my text is going to be, if you click on text, you have a lot of different choices. I actually do use these templates quite a bit, but sometimes they can be a little hard to manipulate. So if I drop that in there, it's going to kind of assume the size that best fits. Equipment Specialist. Ooh, see now that does not look good. So let's go ahead and reduce the size. It's 130 now. I'm going to go 115 and see how that fits. The T still doesn't fit, so let's just do 110. Perfect. Oh, I like it. But the colors are terrible, so let's click on and highlight it. Go to the color template here. Let's just do white and actually change this to a darker gray. There we go. Not bad at all. And instead of this, I want to put my head in there, which was I'm going to type in 1670. Perfect. Let's make that bigger. Okay. Let's go ahead and make that like a little bit bigger. And I'm also going to make this a white text as well. And I'm actually going to make the entire thing bigger by dragging that square. I'm starting to like it a little bit more now. I'm going to move me and my block though to be lower and probably smaller now. Nope, I'm going to keep it just like it is. So this is how I do it, and it's really simple and basic. One thing to watch out for is if you start making these and you put them on other platforms, sometimes they round the corners, sometimes they make it slightly different shapes. So if you're going to use this, try to put your text and your images kind of away from the edges if you can. This one's a tight squeeze, but I'm going to go with it. So you click on download here, and I'm going to leave it as a PNG. I'm going to click download. It's going to download. Let's go back to my video. This is the equipment specialist video. So I'm going to go to my YouTube beta, YouTube Studio Beta. For video, click on videos. I'm going to filter using this filter button here, and I'm going to say equipment, and we should get to Mark Gingras Equipment Specialist 1670 series. Right here, thumbnail, custom thumbnail. Click on that, and then I'm going to click on my equipment specialist icon, and I'm going to hit OK or open, and there's the thumbnail there, and I'm going to click save. We can kind of see up on the top left hand side what it would look like, and I think that's a much more professional look. When somebody scrolls across that, they're going to think this guy's serious, and I didn't have to worry about the background, getting rid of the background or anything like that.